Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vishnu Sahasranama. Vishnu Sahasranama, name 918, Dakshina. You've maybe heard the word Dakshina. Dakshine nitai chan. It means on the right side. It can also mean in the south. The root from which the name is derived is the same as that of the previous name, Daksha, which means Vridho Shigrarte, to grow or act quickly. Can you think of any form of the Lord who grew and acted quickly? That's an obvious one, isn't it? Vamana Dev. The Siddhanta Kaumudi gives the following meanings for the word Dakshinaha. Right, meaning on the right side. Honest, courteous, submissive. So we have, just like we say, right hand gopis and left hand gopis. Vama Swabhav, Dakshina Swabhav. So Vama Swabhav, left wingers. See, there's right wing and left wing, even in the spiritual world. So left wing, they're always rebellious, unsubmissive, petulant, tendency to become angry and irritable. And Dakshina Swabhav means submissive to the lover or husband.
There is only right wing and wrong wing.
Right wing and wrong wing. Well, that's in English. That's a play on English. We're not talking lecture subjects here. Right wing and wrong wing. In the spiritual world, there is left wing. So you're wrong. And the left wing gopis are more pleasing to Krishna. And on the right wing, we have submissive, don't fight, they tolerate the misbehavior of the husband. That is preferred in the material world. That is true in Dwarka, Vaikuntha, Ayodhya. The material world is the perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So left wing predominates down here. Dakshina has largely the same meaning as Daksha. Skillful, expert, one who arrives quickly, one who does things quickly. But it also means pleasing, amiable, courteous, well-behaved, as well as being on the right. So, Dakshina as a name for Vishnu means one who is fast, one who destroys, that meaning will be described, one who is courteous, who grows, makes to grow, makes his devotees to grow, who is compassionate. Parashara Bhatta, out of all these possible meanings, takes the meaning he who is pleasing and amiable. And Parashara Bhatta is commenting on this series of names in terms of the Supreme Lord who delivered Gajendra from the grip of the crocodile. And he says that Bhagavan responded quickly to the cry for help immediately. So that Parashara Bhatta covered that in explaining the name Daksha. So you don't use exactly the same meaning for Dakshina. So even though he immediately responded and got there, zhunk, quickety quick, he still expressed to Gajendra, I'm sorry, I took time to come. And he consoled Gajendra with pleasing, kind words. So we don't need to go to personality development courses for instruction to be empathetic. We can learn from the character of the Supreme Lord and his pure devotees. And not always empathetic. Krishna, he wasn't empathetic with the crocodile. There is a difference between right and wrong. It's not that, as I said when I was discussing the name, which was that was recent, that there was no peace conference with Hiranyakashipu. There was no attempt at a diplomatic settlement, or with Jarasandha. There was with Duryodhana, there was an attempt at a diplomatic settlement. But many times it was just clear who's right and who's wrong. And the diplomatic attempt was mostly for the pleasure of Yudhishthira, because actually Krishna, who went to make overtures for peace, he knew that Duryodhana wouldn't respond, he wouldn't agree to peace, and Krishna didn't want it either. So the qualities of being pleasing and amiable is certainly true in relation to the devotees, but Krishna is multifaceted. He's not always smiling and being nice. There are so many names in Vishnu Sahasranama. One of them is Danda. Dando Damyatam Asmi, Krishna says. Among methods of controlling, I am punishment. Methods of subduing, he is punishment. So he's nice to the nice and nasty to the nasty. He's nicer than we can be nice, and he's nastier than the nasty. Want to be nasty? Don't tangle with him. Yayata mang prapadyante tangs tathaiva bhajami aham. So in the same way, we can consider that Krishna will come to help us if we call out for help. And it's worth calling to Krishna. We could call to Hiranyakashipu. We could call, you could also call the mafia to help you. They can also help you in some circumstances. I don't think the mafia is very prominent in Croatia. They're not rich. They're ruling the country. Oh well, that's you would say that, of course. I mean, you're Vrishabha, right? But they wouldn't bother so much because there's not so much money here. What do you think? Now we don't get into a discussion of this, but I'm just saying that they're everywhere. They're under different names. The demons are ruling everywhere on the planet Earth in different ways. Different ways than they did in the days of Hiranyakashipu and Kamsa. They rule with a smiling face. They smile as they tighten the noose around your neck. They don't even do that. They have other people do it for them. Anyway, call to Krishna. Demons are everywhere. We don't even see them. They're very smart. They're doing all kinds of things which we can't imagine. But Krishna is smarter than them. So we should remember, Krishna can deliver us. I'm not a big fan of conspiracy theories. Not that there are so many weird things going on, but you can't spend your whole life trying to work them out. And even if you do, what can you do about it? Except call to Krishna. Even if they're exposed in so many ways, all these different things. It's all on the internet, but it doesn't make any difference. And even if you throw out one set of demons, there'll be another set of demons eagerly waiting to come in. So what's the use? Call to Krishna. Spread the Krishna consciousness movement. Get all the demons chanting Hare Krishna. And then there won't be demons anymore. Vishnu's kindness, saying to Gajendra, just say, I'm sorry I couldn't come fast enough, and consoling him. Gajendra is, after all, an animal. Of course, he's a jiva, he's a devotee, but he's in the form of an animal. And the Lord is so kind even to a dumb animal. Of course, in Vedic culture, elephants were much more common than they are now. You don't see elephants roaming in Croatia. You're laughing, but maybe they did previously. The elephants were used in the time of the Carthaginians. What was the name of that general brought them across the Alps? Hannibal, crossed the Alps with his elephants and went into Rome. So maybe they came up to Istria, or who knows, maybe this far also. They're not indigenous to this area, but they can live in this, so we're not accustomed to see them. But in the imagination of people previously, up until recently, India was equated with elephants. Because they used to see photos of parades with elephants, military parades with elephants. And they were commonly used in temples. Big temples would have so many elephants. And they were used for hard work, logging. They were used for that. And now it's all by tractors and different machines. Otherwise there were so many horses, so many cows. There used to be so many more domestic animals which were used for various purposes. Especially they were used for doing hard work. So elephants were quite common, and elephants, people had elephants. Who could keep elephants? And the mahout would drive the elephant, care for the elephant. But you don't expect to treat an elephant with, okay, you can be nice to it. They respond also, they're emotional animals. If you treat them nicely, they'll be nice to you. They'll remember a kindness done for many, many years, they'll remember. And if you mistreat them, they'll remember for many, many years also. They have long memories. But for Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, to be so affectionate to a jiva in the body of an elephant is indicative of his nature, of being Sharanagata Vatsala, being very attached with affection to those who are surrendered to him. This point, Parashara Bhatta especially brings out in his commentary on Vishnu Sahasranama, the kindness of the Lord to his surrendered devotees. Consolate, this was used, consolation, healing words, because when you've been through a traumatic experience with the pain of having your foot trapped in the jaws of a crocodile, that's very painful, but there's the mental pain also, the psychological pain, which is taken note of in modern society. Otherwise, previously, it didn't take much note of this. People in this Europe, people went to war, First World War, Second World War, people get injuries, there was those who survived. It wasn't taken into account that they should have a post-traumatic stress disorder. It was not taken into. They weren't expected. It's just, okay, you only have one leg left and you get on with life. But nowadays is so much stress on people's psychological condition. Everyone's walking around wondering about my mind. My mind. How do you say mind? Same as Russian. And you have to say clear your mind. It's just like that you just like get absorbed in this. There's that anecdote in San Francisco, would be 1967, 96, or 1968, where one crazy girl, or craziness was common among the hippies in San Francisco at that era. It was even considered prestigious. So the girl was saying, "What about my mind?" in a tortured voice. And Prabhupada said, "Chant Hare Krishna." She kept on repeating, "What about my mind?" And Prabhupada said, "Chant Hare Krishna." She couldn't get it. Bhaja bhaja bhai chaitanya nitai sudhira bishasakoi. Chant, faith, have faith. You have to have faith in the holy name. The mind can be very wicked. Dushtaman, wicked mind. Solution is chanting. Chant, chant, chant. But it has to be with the right attitude, surrendered attitude. Krishna will help. He will help. We should have this faith. Even though it may not be instant, but we should have faith that if we cling to the lotus feet of Krishna by going on chanting His names, surely He will deliver us. We have to learn to chant as Draupadi chanted, Govinda, Govinda, with no other shelter. That I was quoting that in the name Daksha. The first verse of Govinda Damada Stotram. Agre Kurunam Ata Pandavam Cha. In front of the Kurus and the Pandavas, Krishna, Draupadi, had no other shelter. Ananyanataha. She called the name of Govinda. And Govinda responded. Prajapata also cites the case of Vibhishana, who came to surrender to Lord Rama, and amid so many doubtful voices of Lord Rama's advisors, He's a Rakshasa. Never trust a Rakshasa. But Rama was inclined to trust him, and Hanuman was. Hanuman had seen in the court of Ravana, where Hanuman had already been, that Vibhishana was different to the others, that he spoke in favor of Hanuman. So Hanuman trusted Vibhishana, and Lord Ram did also. So Rama accepted Sharanagata, surrendered Vibhishana over the advice of others. He trusted that his surrender to Rama was in good faith, and blessed him with his merciful glance. Shankaracharya says that the meaning for the previous name Daksha and the current one are the same, and says that there's no fault of repetition because they're two different words. They're derived from the same source, but they're same meaning. However, Shankara gives another meaning to the name Dakshina, which different. He says it means the same thing, which is of course true, although there may be many meanings. But he gives another meaning to the name Dakshina, that one who goes out for the purpose of killing. Now that's very different to consoling, isn't it? The name can have different meanings. It can also mean one who pervades everywhere, or one who destroys everything. He destroys everything. People say, well, why does Krishna kill so many people? But anyway, he kills everyone, either personally or impersonally. Baladev Vidyabhushan gives the example. He takes the same meaning, to kill or to destroy, and says that Dakshina means who destroyed or prevented the rise of Duryodhana, kept Duryodhana down. Duryodhana wanted to flourish. He did flourish for some time, but he was never felt peaceful as long as the Pandavas were alive. And Krishna prevented him from becoming all-powerful. He thwarted the ambitions of Duryodhana. Another meaning of Dakshina, he who is very liberal, charitable, and kind. Krishna possesses everything, and he's not a miser. Dakshina, the term is commonly used for that which is given to a guru, brahmana, to a priest in a sacrifice, without which the sacrifice is incomplete. In the mode of ignorance, there's that verse. I don't know if I'm going to remember or not. You can look it up. Vidhihinam ashrishtanam mantrahinam adakshinam shraddha virahitam yagyam tamasam parichakshate. I remembered it. So, in the 17th chapter of Gita, Krishna describes a sacrifice is performed. It's in the mode of ignorance. If it's not performed according to the proper rules, without distribution of food, without proper mantras, mantrahinam, adakshinam, without giving dakshina, which doesn't necessarily mean, of course, we don't find in Vedic culture that paper was given. Here, the priest has performed a yajna, and you give some paper. They would give real gold. Gold, cows, land, girls, sometimes is mentioned. If young unmarried brahmanas would be given girls, which wouldn't go down very well in the modern age, that they can be given, but that's in Vedic culture. Girls are given. Marriage, kanyadan, giving the girl. The father gives the girl. I think even in the Christian tradition they used to say that, isn't it? They used to say it, yeah. Well, the concept was there also, but not within living memory. Yeah, during the ceremony, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So, Dakshina is to be given. So Krishna, we have names for him in Vishnu Sahasranama. Bhuri Dakshina. He gives liberally Dakshina. This name is connected especially with Lord Rama, who performed so many sacrifices. Swasti Dakshina, the name was just given, who offers auspiciousness. Previously also, we had the name in Vishnu Sahasranam, Sarva Kamada. He's the one who fulfills all desires. So that covers Dakshina. Another meaning, or no, it's the same meaning, but it's another commentator has put it in slightly different words. Udaraha iti Dakshina. Who is udar, who is generous. Dakshine saralo daravya. Dariva. Tabidhanam. Vishnu is called Dakshina because he's greatly generous. And recalling the pastime of Draupadi in another way, the name Dakshina fits because he gave her unlimited cloth. So that's the same pastime, the same name, but understood in a different way. His kindness towards Draupadi, and specifically he gave her infinite cloth. He gives everything to us, and we give to him. He wants us to give to him. But when we give to him, patrang pushpang palang toyam, leaf, flower, fruit or water, or more comprehensively, yad karoshi, yad ashnasi, yad juhoshi, dadasi yad tapasyasi, everything we do, krishnarte akila cheshta, everything we do for his sake, but that can't be called dakshina. That's not called, that's called seva. When we do something for the sake of serving Krishna, that's called seva. Krishna Datta Bharadvaj, another commentator, uses the meaning daksha, the root daksha, vardhate, which means to grow. So he makes his devotees grow. He himself grows. He grows with strength. He may appear to have a limited amount of strength. That was the great mistake that the Rakshasas made with relation to Rama. They thought he was just a human being. Ravana was so proud that when he wanted a benediction, he said, I won't be killed by demigods, demons, snakes, nagas. he listed so many. He didn't list humans because it's just like we don't pray to God, please save me from ant bites, or may I not be killed by a flea. Well, actually, we could be by germ transmission, I guess. But may the ants on the road not kill me. We don't. It would be strange to ask for that. So similarly, Ravana thought that humans are so insignificant that there's no need to even ask for protection from humans. Humans, you have a few of them for breakfast. What do we bother asking for protection? Oh Lord, protect me from the sheep, violent sheep. They're not violent, they're harmless. So Ravana didn't ask for that. So the Supreme Lord came in the form of a human, and his power, it wasn't known. It wasn't seen. The first, even Dasharath couldn't believe he has so much power. When Vishvamitra asked, you give me these two boys, give me Rama, and Lakshman will automatically follow. I have a few demons that need killing. And Dasharath said, why? I'm here. What do you want to take? Take these young boys? You want to take these young boys? I'm here. What? Don't take them. They're just boys. How are they going to fight? But Vishvamitra knew. And immediately Ram started his killing career as a young boy. And then then his might was seen in breaking the bow of Shiva, and then again in subduing Parashuram. But otherwise, very cordial, amiable, respectful to his superiors, and might seem like an ordinary human until when it comes the time to fight. Then his power is seen. Vali also, Sugriva also doubted how Rama can help me against my brother Vali. Vali is so powerful. So Rama showed him. He shot arrows through so many trees, and the arrow came back to him. Vali was convinced. So he grows his strength as required. He crosses the ocean. He grows or manifests extra power according to need. Hare Krishna. That's all I'm going to say now about the name Dakshina. In the name on the right, that was taken up in the name Daksha. He's on the right. He's on the right of Lakshmi, on the right of Sita. Okay, Hare Krishna.